Good morning. Welcome home. My name is Marcia. I am your health and wellness, lifestyle, and mindset coach. And today, if you take a inventory, a true and honest inventory, and if you are overwhelmed, stressed, anxious about anything, or depressed, and you find yourself just being paralyzed. Like every time you try to initiate a project, change something in your life, actually do something that you've been wanting to do for a long time, and you just can't get past just the first couple of steps or first base, then this is for you. Because I want to bring to your attention another tool in the toolbox. Don't forget, this week we're just really talking about just a glossary of terms, phrases that can help you. We're building a strong foundation because there's a reason why you are frustrated. And we're going to take it slow. I have a piece of hair in my eye. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not starting this over because I told you this is real and authentic information. I'm not putting on a show or a production. I'm talking to you, and just like I would talk to any of my coaches, my clients or my participants. And so maybe there was a Freudian slip when I said some of my coaches, because I have a vision for how just one coach is going to scale. But anyway, back to today's focus. We are going to be looking and checking in with ourselves. Before we can change anything, it's about awareness. And awareness, another term is checking in. And a little more fancier term I want to introduce to you is called MMT, which stands for monitoring your moods and your thoughts. Yes. Checking in with what is my mood? What is my emotion? What am I feeling? And what am I thinking? And as a result of that, what am I doing? So those are three basic questions. Those are like the grassroots, the building blocks to MMT, which is monitoring your moods and your thoughts. Okay, just quick recap. Yesterday, we talked about the importance of writing things down. So just as a friendly reminder, this is a great place to write some things down for my note takers who's just not passively listening to this information. MMT stands for monitoring your moods and your thoughts. Being aware of how and what your thoughts are and what your emotions are and what behaviors as a result of those thoughts and emotions. What behaviors do I generally do? Are they helpful or are they destructive? Because our emotions, our thoughts are directly connected to our well-being. And so the practice of MMT is to intentionally notice situations, or some people might call them triggers. What trigger or what situations? So who, what, when, where, who, maybe people you interact with. Those are the situations that trigger, and we're looking at these negative feelings, negative emotions that stumble you. So the situation, and then what mood is generated. Do you feel sad? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel nervous? And then what are the thoughts that come along with that? Those thoughts. So the goal behind awareness is we want to pay attention to your current condition right here, right now. We want to make aware. We want you to become aware of what you're feeling, those emotions and those thoughts, and check in to see your behavior. Because before you can change anything, you first have to be able to identify it. You have to be aware. And so the MMT is based and rooted in what we call as CBT, which is cognitive behavioral theory. It's rooted in that. And so we want to break it down like line upon line, precept upon precept. What's your first step? When you're feeling not the best, you're feeling negative, you're feeling down, you're feeling anxious, you feel like you want to get out of bed. Like, I had all these to-dos I wanted to do, but I can't even start it. You feel defeated. What situations? Or you might be going about your day, and then you might feel this negative or this dread that comes over you while you're at work, or maybe you're at home in a relationship with whomever, who you live with, or whoever is in your environment. It comes up. It could come up anywhere at any time, and that's the thing. Our thoughts, our emotions can be triggered by any situation at any event. Sometimes those things are very obvious. Sometimes they're subtle. It's about just pausing when you notice something and then ask yourself, what is the situation? What factual event took place? Let's use something concrete so that this point can be driven home. Let's take the environment. You're at work, and you emailed your supervisor, and it's been a whole 24 hours, and your supervisor did not respond to your email. It's the next day, and you think about that situation. Oh my gosh, my supervisor did not respond to my email. You might have a negative thought. She doesn't like me. That was your thought. Let's just honestly, I want you to be honest. I want you to begin to evaluate the thoughts that you are having and tie it back, connect it back to the situation. And sometimes it won't become apparent. And this is why, in my sessions, I have more time to work with an individual, but this is just the information that you can begin to evaluate and to track in yourself. I had this thought because of the email that I sent yesterday. And so now the emotion that you might experience is, some anxiety or worry. Because after all, if your supervisor doesn't like you, isn't that something to worry about or be anxious about? Isn't that a natural flow, a natural thought? And then the behavior that may ensue is, maybe you avoid her. Maybe you don't want to send a follow-up email. Or worse, you get into a cycle of this repetitive, negative thinking, insidious thought pattern, rumination, and it overtakes you. Now you can't do all the other things in your life that you need to do because you're overtaken by this thought that it generated this emotion in you and this behavior, all destructive. And if that sounds like you, you're not alone. In fact, it's more common than not. And this is why in coaching, we want to expose all of this, because a little secret, that thought is a distortion, because you don't have any proof that your supervisor does not like you. You sent an email yesterday, and there could be 10,000 reasons why that supervisor did not respond to that email that has nothing to do with you. But that brain is used to, has a pattern of that negative thinking. That's the distortion. So what we begin to do when we practice this tool of monitoring your moods and thoughts, so you begin to create some space, some distance. We're not discounting that, one, you have that thought, because that's the lens you've been wearing all your life. And why do you come into coaching? Because it's my job to help interrupt those patterns and to help. Really what I do is, by just a set of questions and reflections, is I hold a mirror up in front of you, and you begin to see clearly, and you begin to have the aha moments, like, oh wow, it's really not about me. It could be about them. They have nothing to do with me. Imagine that. And so we begin to create space between that automatic thought that you would normally have, and begin to reflect and just pause, reflect, and then choose another response. Remember yesterday I talked to you about the brain and the fact that the brain, it does what brains do, period. Point blank, period. Just by practicing pausing, reflecting, asking yourself a couple of questions, challenging that distortive thinking. And we're going to talk tomorrow about more on distortion, because this is just scratching the surface, believe me. However, it's worth taking time, because you'll find the biggest issue, the biggest barrier between you and your goal is right here. This space between this ear and this ear, right here. And this is why I deal with the mind in coaching. This is the foundation. Because if I can help you overcome and win here in your mind, the things that you want to do, that's lightweight. It really is. Right now you don't see it as lightweight, but it's lightweight, because you are about to build, well, your brain is building a new foundation. It is restructuring your brain, rewiring. So the tools, the things that we're going to be talking about in these next few sessions, is going to help you with that. I'm going to pause there because I'm about a minute and a half over my 12-minute. Yeah, this information is really good to me. I just want to thank you once again for stopping by, because lasting change often begins with just one decision, and sometimes just one coach.